Sometimes the best help comes from places you least expect it. G'day guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to episode number 4 of the Pokemon TCG Sealed Only Road to Worlds series, where I try and see if it's possible to take a budget of just £30 a week and sealed product from the Pokemon TCG and see if it's possible to make our way to the World Championships. If you guys have been enjoying the series and you're enjoying the series so far, then please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Turn on the bell for notifications so you do not miss a single upload of this series. I'll talk about the product that we're going to open in today's video in just a moment, but first I just want to talk about something quickly that has possibly thrown a slight spanner into the works of the series, but I don't think it's going to affect in the long term. Essentially, for those that might be in the European community, in the European region for the TCG, you'll know that Lille Regionals was the first regional championships that was an official regionals, I suppose. We've just had the Bilbao special event that's gone on. But the first official Pokemon regional event was to be held in Lille next month. The tickets for that event sold out like wildfire. And I, so far, have not been able to get my hands on a ticket. There are reallocations happening tomorrow from when I'm recording this video. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get an allocated ticket there. But yeah, I'm just going to have to see what happens there. I might still go and just play in a side event maybe. But let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments down below if for whatever reason I can't get a ticket to Lille and I can't actually enter as a official competitor during Lille Regionals. Do I still go and do I play in a side event? Do I stay back and just keep playing locals, keep opening some more product and try and continue to build up to, I believe, Warsaw is the next regionals in Poland. So yeah, let me know down in the comments below if, you know, what kind of contingency plan we should put in place if I can't manage to get any of the reallocated tickets tomorrow, because the Masters tickets, when they were released, I think it was Friday they were released, it took a minute for them to sell out. And I actually got to I got to the little form that you have to fill out as well, like twice, but because you have to like click things to agree with like their COVID protocols and things like that, it just kicked me straight back out, which was annoying. But yeah, fingers crossed. But if not, it's over to you guys. What should the contingency plan be? Onto the product then. Today is a weird product, actually. I spoke about this in episode 2, about one of the members of the community that I met at locals, saying about this product, because obviously we were trying to hit Training Court, the very first product, all the way back in episode 2. And if you've not seen that episode yet, or any of the episodes in the series, then there should be an iCard link to the entire playlist of the series so far. There was a product that actually guaranteed a training court, and also when I look at the deck list, a few more. So today we are jumping in to this right here. This is the Inteleon VMAX Battle Deck, League Battle Deck. It cost basically bang on £30 before like shipping fees and things like that. So that wipes out our entire budget for this week. We've got a couple of pounds left over that will roll over to next week. So this is going to be a bit of an interesting one, because I think there are actually a fair few cards that can make their way into the main deck. So let's go and crack it open and let's see what we can play around with. Okay, so let's pop this bad boy open. Because the thing as well that I've been trying to look towards and build towards, obviously we're trying to turn this deck as it stands into a Palkia Ice Rider Calyrex build, which I have seen just done quite well. I think it was Baltimore Regionals that a player got a top 8 into the top 8 with the Palkia Ice Rider deck. So you get another little rules book there as well. Is there a... Oh, that's like the paper playmat, I think. Or is it? Oh, what is this? Okay. This wasn't in the last one. How to upgrade your League Battle deck. Okay, interesting. So it asks for another Intellium VMAX, the Crobat Vs for the draw cards and stuff like that. Okay, interesting. I don't think that the Calyrex deck came with anything like that, so that's a nice little touch. But yeah, I've been trying to find like at least a temporary second attacker, and Inteleon VMAX might actually be that guy. So this is Inteleon VMAX. It's obviously 320 HP Pokemon. It has Hydro Snipe as the first attack, 1 energy for 60. You may put an energy attached to your opponent's active into their hand. Nice little bit of board disruption. And then Max Bullet, 3 energy, 160, and it also snipes for 60 to one of the benched opponent's Pokemon. So it's interesting. We might experiment maybe with one of them. Maybe we'll try just a 1-1 line just to see what we think and if it's just going to be enough just to sort of tide us by until we start getting the actual kind of main focus of the deck and the main idea that we want, which is, of course, Palkia V and V-Star, the origin form. I'll chuck those just over there. But it's mainly in this box that is why we've got the product. So we've got, oh, a different Sobble there. That's quite nice. So we've got Boss, we've got Drizzle. We do as well, I did find out, we had the Snom and Frostmoth water energy engine, which was interesting. So we might try and work with that. Obviously, it won't be around for much longer. But we also have Galarian Zigzagoon, which, if you don't know, is a damage counter Pokemon. If you put it from your hand onto your bench, you can put basically 10 damage on any of the opponent's Pokemon that you want. So I think we'll definitely include that. Here's another card that we wanted, Scoop Up Nets. Put one of your Pokemon that isn't a Pokemon V or GX into your hand. So that applies either to Galarian Zigzagoon, so you can put it down and then pick it back up and put it back down again to do another 10 damage somewhere else. It also works with the Drizzle and Inteleon engine, so that you scoop up net them and then you can reuse them again and get more shady dealings happening. So we'll definitely use that one. Bird Keeper, no, it's a bit of a poor thing. Here it is. So, Frostmoth. As often as you like during your turn, you may attach a water energy card from your hand to one of your benched water type Pokemon. So this is another interesting one. It's another little interesting water type energy acceleration method. So we might try and use that. Maybe. The issue is that we've not got like a ton of space in the deck now. There's the training court that we were looking for. Finally, we've got a hold of that, which is a big relief. We've also got Ordinary Rod. Shuffle up to 2 Pokemon from a discard pile into your bench. Shuffle up to 2 basic energy cards from a discard pile into your deck. I don't know whether we'll be using that one purely because of we've got Melanie's. We've got the Melanie engine to do that, to bring that into back and actually attach straight onto a Pokemon and then get the draw advantage as well. So I'm not sure whether we'll put Ordinary Rod in the deck just yet, but that is another option. There's the second Galarian Zigzagoon. There's a second Frostmoth and a second Snom there as well. And that's pretty much everything from the League Battle deck that we can realistically use. So, yeah, again, I mean, they're fantastic cards, and there's some fantastic additions. It's just finding the space within the 60 cards to be able to find it. So obviously there you can see there's one of the cards that we will be testing today. And a little spoiler, if you haven't seen episode 3 where we opened up an Elite Trainer box, we got a Trainer's Gallery full art supporter Alistair in the very first pack. That was some incredible luck, and we're going to try that out today. That might be something that gets immediately cut though. We will wait and see. But I think that for the scoop up nets, we're actually going to remove the switch. It's either the switch or the air balloon. I'm thinking more the switch. Or the 2 copies of switches. One past the peak's going to go as well. Because the air balloons so far, I know that I said at the very start of the series, that the air balloons were one of the main cards that I was looking at trying to get rid of. But do I want to keep them? Because again, I've got to try and make some more space in this deck. I really don't know. Maybe we drop a quick shooting Inteleon or 2. We might get rid of the quick shooting engine. Although that is 2 damage counters on a stick. Decisions. This is where things start to get a little bit more difficult, I suppose, while we don't have these cards that are absolute guarantees to head into the deck. But Evolution Incenses we need. Air balloons. Air balloon we could do without. So I think I am actually going to try and remove the air balloons for something. I don't know what. Maybe that's where the Zigzagoons go into. But I do want to test this Inteleon VMAX just so we've got another option. Or maybe we'll use those down the line. Maybe we won't worry about them too much and we'll just go Training Court in, Path to the Peak out, Air Balloons out, Scoop Up Nets in, Switches out, Galarian Zigzagoons in. We might do that. Although, do I instead ditch the Zigzagoons and go with an Inteleon VMAX line? Because I've got the damage counters on a stick with the quick shooting guys. But then that's more turns to... I really don't know. I really don't know. And I'm sure there are probably people that are screaming at their monitors or at their devices right now saying, no, you need to get rid of this. Get rid of that card. There's no point running this, and this. You know, just do this. But I really don't know what we should get rid of here. Obviously, we don't want to get rid of any of the shady dealings, guys. We dropped Marnie in the last episode for Roxanne. We're going to test that card out as well. So there is space that can be made with primarily like Roxanne and Alistair if those guys don't work out. Let's try... let's try dropping the quick shooting Inteleons. I don't think this is a good idea. I really do like these quick shooting Inteleons, but let's try dropping these 2, and we're going to add in a 1/1 line of the Inteleon V and VMAX, just to see what it's like. Just to see, obviously, we're not doing anything super serious right now. We're just having a little bit of fun with it, and they will undoubtedly, leave again later on in the series. But this early on stage, we might as well just have some fun. We're going to a casual locals event tonight anyway, so let's be casual. Let's be fun. Let's enjoy this while it lasts.
One eternity later.
I've really got to start getting better at this whole uploading thing, don't I? Once again, apologies for this video. having taken so long to actually come out. Just stuff. Also, this was the first time when I previously went to this week's locals for this episode. What was this episode? It was the first time that I actually went to the new locals. So yeah, I was just kind of a little bit tentative. I didn't want to start, throwing cameras in people's faces and being the whole over obnoxious YouTube boy. But it's all good. We've got content. We're finally doing it. We're finally getting back to it. You'll notice that this has been uploaded as well on a Wednesday. That is probably going to be the upload day now for the series. Once a week on a Wednesday. I was finding that getting the products brought in each week was cutting things just a bit fine. It was a nice, actual linear way this way to actually get a chance to get everything ready and recorded and things like that. And I think that it'll work better when it actually comes to going to regional championships and things like that as well. Speaking of regional championships, big announcement at the end of the video, so make sure you stay tuned. Obviously, I said at the start of this video, I believe, about the prospect of Lille regional spectator tickets. And there's good news and there's bad news, but you got to stick around to watch that and find out for that. But yeah, let's talk about the night I had when I did go to the locals the first time. It is a store that I've been to before, and a place that I really do like. But they're just starting up this kind of like secondary Pokemon League locals, basically, for people that can't make Saturday and weekend events, which I cannot do because I commentate for a football or soccer team, if you are wrong. If you would like to, actually, on a complete other side note, if you'd like to find out and you'd like to hear me do some commentating on some sport, you can find that at Curzon Live _ on Twitch. We stream on there every weekend at 3 p.m. UK time. So check your local guides for the time conversions for that. And yeah, just thought a fun, cheeky little plug. But getting back to the cardboard, it was a rough go. This locals. This was the first real opportunity, I think, since probably, honestly, like episode 1, where we actually started to get a better idea and a good idea of how this deck worked. Spoiler alert, in its current state, it doesn't. There are a lot of bricks. There's, at the moment, it just kind of feels off, but I think that was always going to be expected. Because I'll tell you right now, for me, the Galarian Zigzagoons weren't as much of a help. You'll see in the clip that we're playing at the moment in the TCG A games, playing a full-on like Lost Zone Giratina V-Star box deck. I found the Zigzagoons to not be as helpful, especially when I've only got those 2 scoop up nets. I much prefer them as a pivot option, like you'll see here with the Lost Zone player, my opponent here, using the scoop up nets to pivot out for the Comfies in order to set up that Cramorant on his bench to attack for free. I found that those are much better used on the Sobbles and on the Drizzols to be able to utilise them again, get more value out of the Shady Dealings engine. So in this clip you'll see, and in this in these videos, this gameplay, you'll see I'm not playing the Galarian Zigzagoons. I'm actually playing Choice Belt, which was a couple of cards that I pulled from all the codes that I've managed to amass and accumulate through this series so far. So I'm using Choice Belt and I'm really, really liking it. I'll go over a gameplay in the next game here, just sort of exploring some of the things that I was doing, the options that I had. But Yeah, deck really struggled, and I knew it was going to. I've still got enough hopes that the deck is going to be fine in time for when we make our first points scoring competitive debut, because obviously we aren't doing that at Lille with the competitor tickets having sold out virtually instantly. But I think with extra time, that's really going to help. And I think that I actually think this is a good thing. I think that going into Lille with the deck that it is in its current state, and with certain products that are still yet to be released, it would have cut very, very fine and very, very thin to be able to go into a 60 card list and put that into a regional tournament that is costing an arm and a leg to take part in. I feel like it would have just been a real overall deflating disappointment. So I'm happy with the way that we're going. I'm happy with the progression that we're taking, slowly but steadily. But we've now got that extra bit of time to play with, which I'm glad. In terms of where we go next into physically, with the physical cards, I definitely am going to be going out and looking for a product of choice belt. I do have something in mind. I know exactly what product I need. I think it will also help us a little bit in terms of an issue that I was finding of not being able to find the right supporters. Because of the shady dealings engine, or at least the problems that I ran into at this event, I struggled getting the right supporters for the right times, which seems really, really odd to say. But when you've already gone through, like, I don't know, a Melanie or two, and you've not got the water energy in the discard pile or something like that, or if one of your things are prized and you're trying to, even when trying to get up to like the Drizzols and the Inteleons, it just felt, again, I don't know, it just felt like something was off, something wasn't quite clicking and working, which is just the way that the game is, the way that any card game is going to be. It's always going to be luck-based. It's the lack of the draw for a reason. But thankfully, here, the lack of the draw in this TCGO game is right on my side. I'm thinking back on this, I'm not sure whether I made the right play or not. I bumped my own path to the peak with my training court in order to try and utilise that extra Drizzle that I've got in my hand. I felt like this was the right line when I was doing it, because it made sure that I didn't have to burn too many resources in order to get the 2 water energy, or in order to get all the energy on the active. And also, as you can see there, I'm electing to boss up one of the Giratina V's. So being able to use that training core means that I've still got my attachment for turn. I just slap it onto there. I don't need to burn a Melanie unnecessarily. I put the 2 water energy back in the discard pile, ready for the Melanie next turn. And I've set myself up for game next turn if my opponent doesn't have an answer, which, realistically speaking, I mean, I don't know how my opponent would play their way out of this situation, because if they knock out my active VMAX, then cool, I've got a second one on my bench, I've got Evolution Incense in my hand, I've got a water energy to attach the hand for turn, I've got the Drizzle to find the Melanie. You can see that I'm just checking the amount of cards that are in the lost zone. I don't think there was necessarily a way that my opponent could have won this game in this state now. So I think that what I did was right. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know in the comments about how, if you're watching this game, if you think that I'm playing the right way. I feel like I'm slowly starting to get better, and I'm slowly starting to improve. You see there the scope from my opponent. I feel like that, and I said this I think in the last episode, that these early stages was less about getting a ridiculous deck at an early stage in a quick time, but more about being able to dust the cobwebs off and get myself back into a position where I felt like I was making those bread and butter combo plays. I was happy with the way that I was playing. I was able to see any mistakes that I might have made pretty quickly, and not be dwelling on it over and over for the next 3 hours and wondering why I couldn't find my Drizzile because I hadn't prize checked or something like that. So I think I'm slowly starting to get there, as we have an interesting game in this last game of the episode. It is a Origin Form Dialga V deck. Not one that I've really seen a lot of or had a lot of exposure to. I have in my personal collection and away from the Sealed Only series. When I was at Worlds this year, I played a lot of the build and battle side events, and I actually managed to pull the alternate art Origin Form Dialga V, and it's a really, really beautiful card. So yeah, I think that's sort of where I'm looking at going forward. Obviously, we're still very much on the Palkia train to build in towards this deck. We've got a lot of options though going forward throughout the series. I definitely want to adapt and build into other decks through the meta, and I think that one of the product that we're going to wrap in the next episode is going to be a real big help for that. I think, though, it's time to reveal where we're actually aiming for now, because obviously with Lille Regionals, that plan's gone out the window, pretty quickly went up in flames, but thankfully there are other tournaments and there are other events. So, with that in mind, I'm not going to Lille Regionals at all. The spectator tickets, they flew away as well, they went really, really quickly. But I was bang on the dot and bang on time for competitor tickets to the next event. So in the middle of November, I will be travelling to Warsaw in Poland and competing in Warsaw Regionals. Our first true point scoring opportunity for the sealed only deck. Gives us a lot of time, gives us a lot of practice, gives us a lot more packs to crack open. I'm even more excited now that we've got this extra time. I'm really looking forward to getting into the game and hopefully getting ourselves a nice respectable finish. I've got a couple of interesting weird little ideas as well that I'm kind of flirting with in the back of my mind, to be a bit clever, I'll be a bit weird, but I think that I won't go full gamble into those just yet until I see the state of the meta after Lille Regionals or during Lille Regionals. I want to have a good look at that, see what other European players are playing. Obviously, there'll be a lot of Palkia. There'll probably be quite a bit of Lost Box, a lot of Hisuian Gudra. That deck's quite an interesting, fun little deck. But yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap up this episode as well, as I'm about to destroy this final Palkia V. I almost, you can see there, accidentally passed the turn on TCG as opposed to just actually physically going and clicking and declaring the attack. So almost kept my opponent a route back into the game with a major misplay. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm pretty much waffling here. My opponent trying to search for a way to at least just stall, not knowing that I've got Evo Incense, I've got Drizzile in my hand, I can find a scope up there. You know, I don't need supporters or anything like that. It's GG's from there. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed this episode. Finally getting episode 4 onto the channel and up into things, back into the swing of uploading. Speaking of uploading as well, if anybody has any suggestions or any thoughts for other things that they might want to see, drop them in the comments below. Either that, or you can follow me on Twitter @BenFitsLive. If you've got any other projects you want to see me try and work on, you want any games to play or anything like that, more traditional sense. I am a sports broadcasting student in uni, and I've got a really big and ambitious idea of something that I really want to try and do, but but I'm not 100% sure if people are going to be on board with it. It might be a separate channel upload thing, or creating a separate channel for it just to kind of distinguish the two. But yeah, it could be fun. So yeah, please sure to drop a comment with your thoughts below, like the video as well, subscribe to the channel as well, and turn on the bell for notifications so you do not miss an upload of the sealed only series. It is finally happening. It's finally back. Yeah, and that's going to do it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.